Most men completely miss it. They believe attraction is all about how they look, how much money they have, or the right words they say. But let me tell you something, it's not. There's one specific part of a woman's body that if she lets you touch it, it means something deeper has already clicked inside her. And no, it's not what you're thinking. This is something subconscious, emotional, almost instinctual. When a woman allows this touch, it signals that her guard is down, her trust is growing, and she's starting to see you differently from every other man. Miss this signal, and you remain just another guy. Understand it, and everything changes. Let me explain exactly what it is and why it matters more than anything you've been told before. Brother, there's one spot on a woman's body that reveals everything she's really feeling. And if she lets you touch it, her mind and heart are already yours. But just to clear things up, I'm not talking about some cheesy pickup line or any alpha male nonsense. No, what I'm about to share with you will completely change the way you read every single signal a woman gives you from now on. Trust me, you'll start seeing things in a whole new light. Today, we're diving into the silent signals women give through touch and how one very specific gesture can reveal what she's really feeling. When a woman lets you touch a particular spot on her body, it's not just a random gesture. It's a clear sign that she's letting you in on a deeper level. Before you dismiss this as just another clickbait alpha line, stay with me. What I'm about to reveal will change how you interpret female signals forever. There's one area on her body that acts like a truth detector. When she allows you to touch it, it's not just about physical contact, it's a full emotional surrender. Now, let's take a moment to break this down. Think of a woman's body as a series of emotional zones. Each one is a gateway to her trust. Every touch, every gesture sends a message about how she really feels about you. When she opens one of these zones, it's a decision driven by something much deeper than logic. It's instinctive, gut-level intuition. Who are you to her? Are you safe? Do you deserve her closeness? The problem is, most men miss these signs. They assume that touching her shoulder is the same as touching her face. They think holding her hand is equivalent to running your fingers through her hair. And because they misread these signals, they let valuable opportunities slip by without even realizing it. But don't worry. Today, I'm going to give you the full map, zone by zone. And by the end of this video, I'll show you the one spot on her body where if she lets you touch it, it means something much more than her words have admitted. But first, here's a warning. If you're looking for some manipulation guide, stop watching now. That's not what this is. Touch is not a trick. It's chemical, neurological, visceral. When you touch her, her brain isn't registering your hand. It's sensing your energy, your intention, your emotional state. It's registering whether you're a threat or someone who's safe to be around. All of this happens outside her conscious awareness, but studies have shown it's incredibly accurate. Now, let's break this down, starting with the basics. Level 1, arms and shoulders. These are what scientists call neutral territory. When you touch a woman on her arms or shoulders, it's not as intimate as other parts of her body. But this touch is still significant. Why? Because it's the first test. It's the starting point of trust. If she allows you to touch her arms or shoulders, it means she's giving you permission to enter her personal space. But here's the catch. You need to pay attention to what's happening beneath the surface. When you make contact with her skin, her nervous system is already on high alert. She's not just noticing the touch itself. She's feeling your confidence, your energy, your emotional state, and even your insecurities. Every subtle cue travels through the skin, and if she picks up on something she doesn't like, if she senses you're not emotionally grounded, or if your energy feels off, she'll immediately pull away or react differently. This is where most men get it wrong. They think a touch is just a touch, but to a woman, it's far more than that. It's a conversation, a silent exchange of energy. Every touch carries a message. If she's comfortable with your touch on her arms or shoulders, that's a sign you're starting to pass the first test. But if she pulls back or seems uncomfortable, it's a warning that you haven't earned her trust yet. So let's move on to level 2, the hands and wrists. This is where real intimacy begins. It's not just about where you touch her, it's about how you touch her. When you touch her hand, you're entering deeper emotional territory. You're literally holding a piece of her personal space, her power, her control. And when you hold her hand, she's allowing you a degree of access to her emotions. The wrist, even more exposed, even more vulnerable. And when you're touching her wrist, you're starting to build a deeper connection. At this stage, it's not just the physical touch that matters, it's the energy you bring to it. Does your touch feel confident, grounded, and genuine, or does it feel awkward and unsure? The way you touch her, how you move your hand, the pressure you use, the intention behind it, sends a powerful message about who you are and whether she can trust you. If you touch her hand with confidence and respect, you're moving into the realm of real emotional intimacy. And here's where it gets interesting. The difference between a touch that feels electric and a touch that falls flat is the energy behind it. The same spot on her arm can feel incredible with the right man and completely neutral with the wrong one. It's the difference, your presence, your emotional state, your ability to make her feel safe. When you touch her hand or wrist, she's looking for more than just physical contact. She's feeling for the connection between you two. She's asking, is he safe? Is he trustworthy? If your energy is in tune with hers, you'll feel it. She'll let you in. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This applies powerfully to touch. Your reaction to her signals, your ability to remain calm and grounded when she opens up to you, that is what she is really noticing. She is not just feeling your hand on hers, she is feeling your emotional stability. And that is what makes her feel safe enough to let you go deeper. Now, let's take it a step further. Level 3, her waist and lower back. This is a more instinctive test. She can't see who's touching her here. So when she leans into it without pulling away, it's a clear sign of trust. But this isn't necessarily about attraction. It's about safety. When you touch her waist or lower back, she's checking to see if you're someone she can feel comfortable with. She's asking herself, can I trust this guy? Is he capable of taking care of me emotionally and physically? This level is all about presence. Are you confident enough to touch her in a way that makes her feel safe? Are you capable of being gentle without rushing things? If she's receptive to your touch on her waist or lower back, it's a strong indicator that she's allowing you into her emotional space. The lumbar curve, as evolutionary psychologists have noted, is one of the most biologically significant areas of the female body. It is associated with fertility, health, and openness to connection. When she allows you to touch her there, she is not just letting you touch her. She is letting you touch a part of her that is instinctively protected. That is trust. And trust is the foundation of everything that follows. Now that we've covered arms, shoulders, hands, and wrists, let's move on to level 4, the neck and face. These areas are sacred territory. The neck is biologically vulnerable. The pulse is exposed, and it's deeply tied to feelings of trust and intimacy. Touching a woman here isn't casual, it's primal. When she allows you to touch her neck, it's not just a gesture. It's an expression of complete vulnerability. She's putting herself in a position where she's physically exposed, where you could easily hurt her, but she's trusting you to keep her safe. And then there's the face. The face represents her identity. It's the most personal part of her body, the part that communicates everything about who she is. When she lets you touch her face, it's a huge step. She's opening herself up emotionally and psychologically. You're entering her personal space on a level that's far deeper than anything you've done before. But here's the key. It's not just about touching her face, it's about how she reacts to it. If she allows you to touch her neck or face, her body is telling you something. She's testing whether you're worthy of that level of closeness, whether you can be trusted to handle that vulnerability with care. It's a big deal, and it's not something she's going to let anyone do lightly. If you're the right man, she'll respond positively. She'll lean in, relax, or smile. She'll show you that she feels safe and comfortable in your presence. But if you're not the right man, her body will recoil. She'll pull away, or she'll tense up. Her reaction will tell you everything you need to know. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you are touching her in these vulnerable areas, your mind must be steady. You must not be thinking about what comes next. You must simply be present, grounded, and attuned to her. That is the strength she is looking for. That is what will make her feel safe enough to surrender to the moment. Now, let's talk about one more level, her hair. Hair is deeply symbolic for women. It represents identity, femininity, and emotional expression, all wrapped up in one. Women often touch their own hair when they're nervous, flirting, or processing emotions. It's an extension of themselves. It's something they're very protective of, something they control. But when a woman lets you touch her hair, she's giving you control over something she usually manages herself. That's a huge sign of trust. Here's the thing, it's not just about running your hand through her hair. It's about how she reacts to it. If she leans into your touch, tilts her head, closes her eyes, or smiles without thinking, it's not conscious. It's her nervous system signaling that she feels safe with you. When a woman allows you to touch her hair, it's not just about physical contact. It's a chemical surrender. She's allowing you to do something that she usually keeps to herself. And it's a signal that she trusts you on a deeper level than you might realize. But here's the key to understanding this. This doesn't happen overnight. It's not something you can force. This level of intimacy builds over time. It's a step-by-step process that happens when you've proven yourself to be trustworthy, genuine, and respectful. It's a process that involves building emotional trust, creating a safe space, and allowing her to feel comfortable with you. If you try to rush it or manipulate the situation, it won't work. Touching a woman's hair is a deeply personal act. It's something she allows only when she's ready. And when she does, it's a profound symbol of her emotional connection with you. It's her way of saying, I trust you, and I'm ready to let you in. Let's recap what we've covered so far. We've explored how touch works on different levels, from the neutral zones like arms and shoulders, to the deeper emotional territories like her neck, face, and hair. Each of these zones is a subtle communication of trust, comfort, and emotional intimacy. But there's still one more important piece of the puzzle, understanding the emotional openness that comes with each touch. At this point, it's not just about where you touch her or how you touch her. It's about understanding what her body's telling you and responding to those signals in the right way. If a woman lets you into these intimate spaces, it's not just because she's physically attracted to you. There's something deeper happening in her mind and heart. It's a signal that her emotional walls are coming down, that she's opening up to you on a deeper level. So, let's talk about the final level of emotional openness, when she lets you touch her hair. This is when you know she's letting her guard down completely. But remember, this isn't something that happens in a single moment. It's the culmination of everything you've done up until now. It's the result of building trust, step by step. You've already proven yourself to be safe, genuine, and respectful. Now, you're being allowed into her most vulnerable space, her emotions. And this is where most men fail. They misread the signals. They think that every touch has the same meaning, but it doesn't. They think that holding hands is just holding hands, or that touching her shoulder is the same as touching her face. But each touch carries its own unique meaning. When you can read these signals correctly, you'll have a much better understanding of where you stand with her emotionally. But the key takeaway here is that touch is a silent conversation. It's a non-verbal exchange that speaks volumes. It's not about tricks or manipulation. It's about being genuine, being present, and being respectful of her boundaries. When you touch her with intention, when you move with confidence and respect, her body will respond in ways that her words often can't express. And that's when you'll truly understand where you stand with her emotionally. Let me tell you something. Touch is powerful. It's a silent language that speaks directly to the heart. When a woman lets you into her emotional space, it's a sign that she trusts you. And that trust isn't something you can rush or force. It's something you earn over time through your actions, through your words, and most importantly, through your respect for her boundaries. Every woman is different and every touch has its own meaning. But once you start to understand the unspoken language of touch, you'll have a much deeper connection with the women in your life. And that connection is built on trust, on emotional safety, and on mutual respect. So, the next time a woman lets you touch her in an intimate way, whether it's her hand, her waist, or even her hair, understand that it's not just a physical gesture. It's a sign of something deeper. It's her way of saying, I trust you. I'm allowing you into my emotional space. And that, my friend, is a privilege. As we continue to explore the power of touch, it's important to recognize that every woman's body is a reflection of her emotions and experiences. The way she responds to touch isn't just about physical attraction. It's about her sense of safety, trust, and vulnerability. Each gesture, each touch, tells a story about where she is emotionally. And as a man, your job is to understand those stories, respect the boundaries, and be present enough to recognize when she's ready to take things further. This brings us to one of the most crucial aspects of attraction: emotional openness. When a woman touches you or lets you touch her, she's not just letting you into her physical space, she's letting you into her emotional world. But here's the thing: she won't just open up to anyone. She won't let her guard down for just any man. It takes time, consistency, and emotional intelligence to get to the point where she feels safe enough to surrender her trust to you. Let's go back to the hair. I want to emphasize this because it's the final and most powerful sign of emotional openness. Hair isn't just a physical attribute, it's symbolic. It represents femininity, identity, and a deep connection to her emotions. When she lets you touch her hair, it's an expression of her willingness to give up control over something she usually keeps to herself. It's a gesture that speaks volumes about how she feels about you. But, just like with every other level of intimacy, this doesn't happen overnight. It takes time for her to feel safe enough to allow you into that emotional space. She needs to know that you're trustworthy, that you won't misuse the connection, and that you'll respect her boundaries. The key here is building trust step by step. With every gesture, with every conversation, you're either earning or losing her trust, and that trust is what paves the way for deeper emotional intimacy. Here's another important point. Attraction and intimacy aren't just about physical touch, they're about the emotional connection you create. Women are incredibly in tune with their emotions, and they're not just reacting to physical touch. They're reacting to the emotional energy you bring to the interaction. If you're coming from a place of genuine interest, respect, and emotional stability, she will feel that energy, and it will make her feel comfortable enough to let her guard down. On the other hand, if you're coming from a place of insecurity, manipulation, or neediness, she will sense that, too, and her body will respond accordingly. She'll pull away, or she'll become distant. This is why it's so important to work on your own emotional intelligence. When you're grounded in yourself, when you understand your own emotions and can communicate them effectively, it creates a space where she feels safe to open up as well. This is where most men make a mistake. They try to rush things or force intimacy without understanding the underlying emotional dynamics. They think that attraction is just about physical touch, about touching the right spots at the right time. But what they fail to realize is that attraction is built on emotional connection, and that connection is what makes every touch, every gesture, so much more meaningful. Now that we've explored the emotional layers of touch, it's time to wrap things up with a crucial takeaway. The truth is, attraction isn't just about physical contact. It's about understanding and respecting the deeper emotional signals a woman sends. Touch, when done correctly, is a powerful form of communication that transcends words. It's a silent conversation that tells you everything you need to know about her feelings, her trust, and her emotional state. If you've been following along, you now understand the different levels of touch. From the neutral zones like arms and shoulders to the deeper, more intimate zones like her neck, face, and hair. Each level of touch is a silent signal that reveals how she feels about you. And the key is recognizing these signals and responding with the right energy and intention. When you touch her in a way that makes her feel safe, respected, and emotionally connected, her body will naturally respond in kind. But here's the kicker. None of this works if you're trying to manipulate the situation. Touch isn't a trick. It's not about playing mind games or trying to control her. It's about being genuine, being present, and respecting her boundaries. When you come from a place of authenticity, when you make her feel emotionally safe, the connection will deepen naturally. She'll let her guard down, and that's when the real magic happens. So, remember this. Attraction isn't just physical, it's emotional. And when a woman lets you into her emotional space, whether it's through a gentle touch on her hand, a vulnerable touch on her neck, or allowing you to run your fingers through her hair, she's telling you something that her words can't express. She's letting you in. She's opening herself up to you. And that, my friend, is a privilege you should never take for granted. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. When you are touching her, be in the present. Do not be anxious about what comes next. Do not be thinking about how far this will go. Simply be there, with her, in that moment. That presence is what she will remember. That presence is what will make her feel safe. And that presence is what will make her want more." If this video has opened your eyes to the true power of touch and the deeper emotional connection that lies beneath it, then make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more videos to come. And don't forget to share this video with anyone who could benefit from understanding the silent signals that women give through touch. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video where we'll continue to break down the hidden truths of attraction, connection, and everything in between. Until then, remember, touch isn't just a physical act. It's a silent conversation that speaks directly to the heart. When you learn to listen to that conversation, you will understand women in ways you never thought possible. And that understanding is the foundation of everything that follows.